and the importance of beauty. The Prophet ﷺ, when the man asked him about was wearing nice clothes and a good sandal, was that from arrogance? And he said, no, it's Allah loves beauty. And one of the things that I find really notable about pre-modern people is that they adorned things. They didn't have a lot of things generally, but what they did have, they always made beautiful. And when I was in Mauritania, they started using Bic pens. Their traditional pen was a bamboo pen, but they started using Bic pens. But the women would adorn them with leather and make them very beautiful. So they would actually take the plastic and they would just do a design on it and then put little frills at the end of it. And the students would write with these pens. And when I asked one of the women why they did that, she said, it's so ugly. You know, the big pen. You know, and what is that thing in humans that why not just have a functional carpet? Why put the tree of life on the carpet? Why not just have functional walls? Why put wainscoting with designs on the I mean, what is that? And how do we restore that? Because Muslims, they dressed beautifully. Even peasants dressed beautifully. You know, the Afghan embroidery and the sadriya that the Egyptian fallah wears with the striped. People really have become. You don't see the caliphate of God in that human being anymore. And how is that restored?
You know, traditional societies. Tell me any traditional society that was not beautiful. You know, look at the First Nations of this land. I mean, look at the Inuit, you know, the Eskimos, who are really a civilization. The Umran, that's a good example of Umran that doesn't have cities. But everything they did was beautiful. Look at the Aborigines. You can't believe how beautiful everything they make is. And we were like that too. We were a highly skilled society. We were a society of crafts and everything, guilds. And everything we made was beautiful. And that's because God is beautiful and He loves beauty. Beauty is the splendor of truth. You know, and that means God doesn't love ugliness. And ugliness is the mark of falsehood. Ugliness means you've gone astray. So, you know, getting this back, again, I believe it's going to be easy. And again, if we look at Zaytuna, and if we look at many of the brothers and sisters that are dear to us, look at the beauty they create. You know, so God is beautiful. If you love God, you become beautiful. You become internally beautiful. That's the universal routing. And then what you produce is graceful and beautiful, even the way you walk, even the way you talk, even the words you use, because you want to use beautiful words. You want to know what your words mean. So this is very important, to get back this beauty and everything. And that makes us human. You know, that Al-Maturidi, who is one of our great theologians, he talks about how God holds us back from evil by putting us in a natural setting. We still do evil, but the natural setting is telling us this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. What happens, however, when you put people in an ugly setting of broken windows, broken glass, graffiti, rats, so forth, you can't believe there's such a thing as truth anymore. You can't believe that there's such a thing as goodness anymore. And that's why beautification is something we have to do to ourselves. And in Islamic art, I believe the highest form of art is architecture. And in our tradition, architecture is what generates so many other forms of incredible art. But our art, according to some, it begins with clothing. Some would say it begins with the mihrab, the recitation of the Quran, the writing of the Quran, but clothing is one of the first things. And we believed in beautiful clothing. And who didn't? All traditional people were like that. And it showed their identity, it showed their honor, and it showed what they believe in, who they are. But we wanted clothing that would be beautiful. We wanted clothing that also we could pray in and not be embarrassed. You look at the Eid prayers, in Nigeria, and you can put it in National Geographic. You look at us praying Eid prayers, it's like, please don't take a picture until we're, you know, sitting up or standing up again, right? Except for the sisters. They're the ones that come off okay. Yeah. But, you know, we wanted also clothing that would look good, clothing that also we can do ablution with easily. And we made beautiful things. And, you know, in Pakistan, those of you who have been to Pakistan or you're from Pakistan, they have in Rawalpindi this incredible museum called Lok Varsa. And Lok Varsa in Punjabi means the tradition of the people. And I went to that museum. The woman who took me, she was one of the curators, she said, and this was a question in my mind. And so she answered it without me asking it. And it's like she said, this is a museum designed to preserve the cultures of this land, not to destroy them. Because many people say that, you know, being put in a museum is like Salatul Janazah. You know, that's the end of your culture. So he said, we don't want to do that. And then if you go there, you know, and you look at all these cultures in Pakistan, you know, Punjabi, you know, Pashtuns, you know, the Sindhis, there are all these different cultures, and they're all beautiful. And everyone is distinctive. Everyone is distinctive. And they're so beautiful, it's like beyond words. Look at what the Indonesians do, what the Malays do. But this is the way we were traditionally. You know, you go to Rosales, this beautiful retreat we have in Spain, and you have a tile which is, to me, one of the most beautiful tiles in the world. You know, it's an Andalusian tile, but it's called the Breath of the Most Merciful. And the colors are soft, you know, and then you have what is called, you know, contracting square, which looks like a cross with points, and you have expanding square, which looks like, I guess, an octagon. Okay, inside, and that's the breath of the most merciful, in and out. And, you know, so how did they develop that? And it's so simple, and especially I do i'tikaf there in the last 10 days of, you know, Ramadan, if I can. And, you know, I just like to focus on those tiles. Because to me, they're spiritually therapeutic, right? So this is who we were, and this is who we are, and this is who we must be. And, you know, beauty is our means, right?
Yeah,
beauty, making beauty. And, you know, again, you know, one of our teachers who studied metaphysics, we talked tonight about Maibudi and Qunawi and others. These are the greatest metaphysicians. They are spectacular. You know, but this man spent his life studying great metaphysicians. And that's not something that everybody can do. Not everybody can do rocket science. You know, but this man, he was visiting a particular place in Pakistan. I think Bari Imam or Bulle Shah, I don't know which one it was. And he's overstayed his time. So he came out, it was late at night. And he had to be taken to his hotel. And his hotel was a long ways away. And there's nobody there. And then out of the darkness came this cart driver. And those of you who know Urdu, you know what they call that cart. I always forget. And, you know, the cart driver, he said if you looked at him, his clothes, you could buy all of them for $1 in the market. He was a poor man, and so he spoke to them. He didn't know Urdu, he knew Persian. He spoke to him in Persian and said, could you take me to the hotel? The man answered in Urdu. He could understand it because the languages are close. He got on the front seat of the cart with this poor man, and the man, who was he? This world is filled with amazing things, began to recite to him from Hafiz and Rumi in perfect Persian. And he said, in those 45 minutes, I learned more about metaphysics than I learned in 30 years. So beauty is the language of truth also. And that's why, you know, even some of the things we talked about tonight, because it's put in an intellectual vocabulary, not everybody can understand that. But when you put that into poetry, when you put that into rhyme, when you put that into art and into beauty, you know, then everybody gets it. And beauty attracts you then to those meanings. This is why also our societies were so beautiful. And you know a lot about that. I remember going to one of the great, I think it's the Salimiyya, one of the great mosques of Sinan in Edirne, I think it is, and it's basically red, and I actually couldn't leave that mosque. It's like, this is the story of the whole universe. You see, it's like he's telling it in colors, he's telling it in symbols, he's telling it in shapes, but like, what have you done here? You see, so this pulls our souls to the truth, and ugliness does the opposite. And that's why we want to replace the ugliness with beauty.
Thank you. On that note, I want to thank you, Dr. Umar, on behalf of the community here for coming this way. Also, Haja Samira for coming and supporting you. May you have a blessed trip here. The Mauritanians say, La tarabas, inshallah. May you not see any evil. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Dr. Umar, Abdulla Farooq and his family and his loved ones, and keep him safe and preserve him. Inshallah, may we benefit from what we've heard tonight. And may you all return to your homes safe and sound, and have a blessed sleep with some dream time, inshallah. May you see beautiful things in your dreams tonight, inshallah.
One of the signs of the end of time is many beautiful dreams that are true. You see, because this is one of the ways that God's merciful to you, that you live in a world where so many people don't believe. So He sends you these incredible dreams. So may you have beautiful dreams, sweet dreams.
Inshallah. Allah yubarak fikum. Assalamu alaikum.